Welcome back to the Dinar Daily, your trusted source for the latest news, updates, and insights on the Iraqi dinar. Today, we've got breaking news that has the entire community buzzing. The Iraqi dinar contract rate has just jumped past $6. And this is one of the biggest developments we've seen in years. For those who have been following the dinar story for a long time, this feels like a real turning point. But the big question is, what does this actually mean for you and me? Should you be celebrating, or should you be approaching this cautiously? That's exactly what we're going to break down in detail today. To start, let's talk about what a contract rate really is. Think of it like this. If a house is listed for $200,000, but you negotiate with the seller and agree on $180,000, that final number is the contract rate. It's not the public price, but it's the agreed-upon value between two parties. The same principle applies to currencies. There's the official government rate, the market rate that most people see at banks or exchanges. And then there are these special contract rates, usually reserved for big deals involving governments, corporations, or institutions. So when we hear about the Iraqi dinar being exchanged at a contract rate above $6, we're talking about private, large-scale agreements where parties are willing to assign that much higher value to the currency. Now, does this mean you can walk into your local bank tomorrow and cash in your dinars for $6 each? No, that's not how it works. Contract rates are tied to massive transactions, oil contracts, construction deals, or international trade agreements, not small exchanges at the retail level. But the fact that such a rate exists tells us something very important. Iraq's currency is being valued more highly in specific, high-level scenarios. That's why this news matters so much. For years, Iraq's official rate has been far lower than this. And seeing contract numbers, like $6, indicates that global players are starting to view the dinar through a very different lens. It shows confidence in Iraq's economic potential, and perhaps in its ability to stabilize and grow. For a country that has faced decades of conflict, sanctions, and instability, this kind of valuation is significant. It signals that powerful institutions are willing to back Iraq's future with real deals at rates that far exceed the public exchange
value. But here's the reality check.
Contract rates do not automatically translate to opportunities for everyday people. They operate on a different level. Think of them as wholesale prices. If you're a massive corporation dealing in billions of dollars, you might get access to them. But for someone holding a few thousand dinar notes at home, that's not how it plays out. That's why it's so important not to confuse contract rate headlines with immediate personal windfalls. Another point to consider is timing. Contract rates often appear within a specific window tied to projects, agreements, or temporary policies. Once the project ends or the agreement expires, that rate can vanish just as quickly as it appeared. That's why you hear phrases like, "the clock is ticking." It's not just hype. It's the reality that these deals aren't permanent. And this urgency is what has dinar communities buzzing right now, eager not to miss out on what could be a rare opportunity. So what could be driving this $6 figure? A few possibilities stand out. Iraq has been making real efforts to stabilize its financial system, build credibility in global markets, and reduce inflation. Oil is still the backbone of its economy. International oil contracts often involve huge sums that may be calculated in dinars. If a deal valued in dinars is being settled at $6 per unit, that may be where this rate comes from. And let's not forget, Iraq's oil wealth is enormous. With some of the largest reserves in the world, it has the natural resources to support a stronger currency, if managed correctly. For regular investors, though, the main question remains, will this rate ever reach the public? And the honest answer is, we don't know. Sometimes contract rates stay locked away in big institutional deals. And sometimes they act as a preview of where the currency might be headed. If enough contracts keep valuing the dinar higher, eventually that pressure could push official rates upward. That's why this is such an important development to keep watching, even if you can't directly access that $6 exchange right now. Looking ahead, what should you be watching? First, pay close attention to announcements from Iraq's central bank and government, because they control official policy. Second, track major international deals involving Iraq oil contracts, reconstruction, and infrastructure agreements. These deals often give us clues about where contract rates are being applied. Third, keep an eye on local market exchange rates. If they stay flat while contract rates soar, it means the higher numbers are still limited. But if the market rates start rising, that's a game changer. Now, let's talk about the risks of misinformation. Every time news like this breaks, speculation runs wild online. Some claim inside knowledge, others promise quick payouts, and rumors spread faster than facts. But unless the news is coming from official government or central bank statements, take it with caution. The $6 figure is real, but context is everything. Without knowing which deals it applies to, it's easy for rumors to paint an inaccurate picture. If you already hold dinar, what should you do? The first step is simple. Don't panic. Big currency shifts often take time. The second step is to avoid making life-changing financial decisions based on speculation. Don't sell your house, quit your job, or take on debt assuming a revaluation is guaranteed. That's risky. Instead, use this time to educate yourself. The more you understand about how currencies and markets function, the better positioned you'll be if an opportunity opens up. It's also important to view this development not just as a personal investment story, but as part of Iraq's broader journey. Every major contract rate deal reflects bigger movements, rebuilding infrastructure, attracting global investment, and reestablishing Iraq's economic position. That's why the $6 rate isn't only about money. It's about Iraq signaling progress and confidence to the world. You'll also notice the constant sense of urgency in conversations about contract rates. That urgency comes from the fact that these deals are often temporary, but urgency doesn't mean rushing into decisions. Instead, it should remind you to pay attention, stay informed, and keep perspective. Acting too quickly on hype can lead to regret. History shows us this clearly. There have been times when dinar watchers thought a massive revaluation was imminent, only for nothing to happen. In other cases, gradual shifts eventually came. The lesson is to remain cautious, stay balanced, and never risk more than you can afford to lose. Currencies are unpredictable. Even experts are often wrong. That said, Iraq's potential is undeniable. With massive oil reserves and a push toward reform, the foundation is there for long-term growth. If Iraq can stabilize politically and economically, its currency may strengthen naturally over time. The $6 contract rate could be an early sign of that potential being recognized on a global scale. So here's the takeaway. This $6 contract rate is real, but its meaning depends on context. It doesn't mean your bank is ready to exchange your notes tomorrow. What it does mean is that Iraq's currency is being valued far higher in certain deals, and that's something worth tracking. Watch official statements, follow international agreements, and monitor local exchange rates closely. And above all, stay careful with expectations. As we wrap this up, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you see this $6 contract rate as the beginning of something major, or do you think it will stay limited to private deals? Drop your opinion in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button so more people can see it. And make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the Dinarr Daily. This story is just starting to unfold, and I'll be right here to keep you updated every step of the way.